I'll drink to that. Let's go. Panther people, what up? It's a Victory Sunday. Remember those? What's going on? You're watching Panthers Post. I'm Phil Perkins. Thanks for joining. If you're new here, make sure to like, definitely subscribe, enter your hopefully positive feelings into the comment community as the Atlanta Falcons fall at home, all while Chick-fil-A at the Mercedes Dome is not open on a Sunday, but they fall to the Carolina Panthers 19-13, just like how we all planned it out. This is our reaction vlog. It's way more emotional, way less thought out, way less clips and production value than our midweek episodes. But man, there's so much to talk about. I know I predicted the Panthers were going to lose this game, but as I said in the last video, which you can still check out, you can catch me on it, I kind of did some reverse psychology. I put that out there saying if I think they're going to lose, maybe they'll actually turn out a win. But let's break this one all down into key points here. Number one, it looks like Matt Rule and Joe Brady are on the same page, and when they said they were going to commit to the run, they didn't mean against the Giants. Maybe they thought that was like not a real game or something, but they really did commit to the run in this game, and that did help in the outcome. The second thing is, man, injuries and your best ability is your availability, and how welcome was Shaq Thompson, number 7, the guy was all over the damn place after playing his best ball in the first 3 games, and Stephon Gilmore, the newest addition to the Carolina Panthers, and woo, I know his wife is giving out his jersey. Put my name in the hat. Let's add it to the collection. So as remember 2 weeks ago, Matt Rule said that the Panthers are going to have a new identity and they're going to commit to the run. They want to run like, 30 odd times, 33 times, 30 odd times. They didn't even get half of that against the then 1-5 New York Giants, ended up losing. Gassed out your own defense. Well, this time the Panthers actually did commit to the run, and man, did it make a difference. The Panthers rushed 47 times. That is 4th most in team history. Out of those 203 yards, Chuba Hubbard with 82 yards and his second touchdown of his career out of the 6-yard line as well. So he had to make things move. I got to shout out to Chuba Hubbard. We've been talking a lot about the fact that he basically tackles himself a lot. He lets the first guy get him down, or he slips. And he did that once or twice, but he had those hard yards. He read blocks and was a tough running back to bring down. He had some big, tough runs when you really thought normally 1 to 2 weeks ago, he was coming down first contact. But this time around, dude was carrying guys, laying people down, and then just keep churning those legs. I love to see that out of Chuba. I love to see, especially the first play of the game, guy puts the ball on the turf. Thankfully, the Falcons only came away with a field goal, but he definitely rebounded after that. That is showing that veteran savvy. He's gaining experience. That's the silver lining in this Christian McCaffrey injury, the fact that Chuba Hubbard is gaining some serious first-team offensive reps. And then when Christian McCaffrey does come back, now you got him, Chuba Hubbard, and you got Amir Abdullah, who I'm going to get on right now. That guy, talk about a spark plug. Talk about, last week we were saying how they added PJ Walker, trying to give a spark to the offense. Well, guess what? Amir Abdullah gives a spark to the offense. I like what he did in the screen game. He's a really tough guy to miss, and he's got that quick twitch fibers going on, something that Chuba Hubbard doesn't really have right now. He's just a bigger running back, as in Chuba Hubbard. But I really love what Amir Abdullah brings to the team in terms of rushing ability. Royce Freeman's not too bad either. But Sam Darnold rushing at the right time. I forget how many 3rd and shorts that he had right up the middle in QB sneaks. That was clutch, pulling a Cam Newton out of his hat. But Sam Darnold, 66 yards rushing. Now, mind you, it costed him. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But the Panthers committing to the run was so key to this game because it did what other teams were doing to our defense, just running them down, getting them tired, running down the clock. I believe it was like less than 8 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter after the Panthers got the ball from the Falcons there. And they speed up the game. They make the offense on the other side for the Falcons try to make dumb decisions, and it just beats guys down. It beats them mentally. The fact that our QB can run on you and 3 of our running backs can run all over you, combined over 200 yards rushing. I love to see it. Keep doing that. And also, at the end of the day, less passes for Sam Darnold to throw. How many did he attempt? 24 passes. That's what we want. That's the sweet spot with Sam Darnold. 24 passes. Could have had more. He was knocked out of the game. But less attempts for him to try to chuck it downfield and make a mistake. Let's talk about Sam real quick. Again, 24 pass attempts, 13 completions for 129 yards, no picks, no touchdowns, QB rating of 69.6. But guess what? Game manager. That's what we need. We need someone to not lose us the football. Now, Chuba Hubbard did that early on, so there really wasn't that much at stake right now. Again, luckily the defense, which we're going to get to, kept it to just a field goal. But Sam Darnold just didn't put the defense in weird positions by throwing into quadruple coverage or, 5-time coverage. He just didn't make any mistakes. And he used his feet, he used his athleticism, and they just managed the game. Hand it off, and he did have a couple big chunk plays, some nice connections with DJ Moore. Well, would have been a nice connection for Robbie Anderson, but he got laid the F out. And I will say the fact that he got back up, Robbie Anderson, didn't want to talk to the doctors, maybe not the best thing medically for someone to do. But the fact that he showed, he's a team player. He didn't want to be like, you know what, my season sucks already, just take me out. He did make that crucial catch on the onside kick that sealed the deal for the Panthers. But Sam Darnold just not making any mistakes, finding Ian Thomas a couple times. There was a couple instances where players were dropping balls. DJ Moore, which I totally thought was an over-the-shoulder touchdown, but he did not have possession once he hit the ground, which is unfortunate because that was a pretty ball from Sam. So I don't know what film he watched. Well, we do know what film he watched. The fact that he watched the first 3 weeks of film with Joe Brady and Coach Rule to try to, shake his brain a little bit to remind him that, hey, you're in the NFL, bro. Like, yeah, you're not a Patrick Mahomes who's not playing. That's not a great example. You're not Lamar Jackson right now, okay? And you're the lowest of the low. You can't get lower than where you're at now. Just try to aim for where you were in the first 3 weeks. And I'll say, once Christian McCaffrey comes back, I think he'll have those dump-off passes back again at his disposal. And right now, you see times he does look off Chuba Hubbard a little bit. There were some opportunities when he could have dumped it off to Chuba and he didn't. But I think his job in life will get easier if they continue running the ball as much as they did, 47 times with 3 backs, and then you add in Christian McCaffrey to the mix, I think if you can limit Sam Darnold to 25 or less pass attempts, and then everybody's happy because there's no interceptions. He's not holding the ball too long. No one's coming up behind him and swatting the ball out of his hand before he can even chuck it. No fumbles. I think this is a good recipe for the rest of the season, and then you could reevaluate the quarterback situation in the offseason. I want Sam Darnold out of the gosh darn team, out of the lineup. Well, guess what? He was literally knocked out of the game. He's in the concussion protocol now. I do not feel too great about PJ Walker. So hopefully Sam Darnold, who kind of seems concussed all the time because of his Southern California type, just, I don't even want to call it swagger, demeanor. Hopefully they don't keep him in concussion protocol long. Hopefully they follow it properly, and then he gets out of it safe and sound, his mind right, his emotions right, and ready for next week. If not, PJ Walker's the guy. Again, heavy on the run, and he's a guy, not saying Sam can't run either, but PJ could also utilize the run game as well. That could benefit, the play action, the option stuff. So whatever happens next week, whether it's Sam or PJ, just don't try to make PJ do too much. Just do exactly the same thing you did this week. Run the ball 35, 40, 45 times, and then pass the ball no more than 25 times. Just do not let that happen. That's just, you just don't want to be there. So Sam Darnold in the concussion protocol right now. We'll see what happens with him. At one point, I thought the Panthers were getting pushed around a little bit on defense. I thought Mike Davis, who laid Shaq Thompson out, didn't really do much after that, though. That was like his big highlight of the day. After that, he was pretty quiet with only 44 yards rushing. They did manage to clamp down on Cordero Patterson, who could be a huge threat on special teams and some of those trick plays as well. They shut him down. But most importantly, Kyle Pitts. I think he had more yards from pass interference on him from Keith Taylor and Stephon Gilmore than he did actual receiving yards. He only had 13 yards receiving, no touchdowns, nothing. They shut him down, and that is without J.C. Horn. All right. So mind you, I will say Calvin Ridley said he's going to be taking some time away from football to work on his mental health, and all the best to him. I hope he comes out of that. And, he was definitely greatly missed on the football side. I'm sure on the sidelines as well. Hopefully he gets well. But football-wise, the fact that he wasn't there and all they had to chime in on really was not to have Kyle Pitts beat us deep was amazing. Only 13 yards. Yet I say that one more time. 13 yards receiving. And also Stephon Gilmore. We'll talk about him. He was awesome. But Shaq Thompson, man, so glad to have him back. He was saying before coming into this game, he was playing some of the best football of his life. He was finally the star. No Luke, no Thomas Davis, nobody. He was the guy. And so the fact that he hurt his foot in Dallas, unfortunate. But he came back, and he was saying before this, he was having trouble running laterally. But hell, he was all over the damn field. Sure, he got truck sticked by Mike Davis, but he came out right after that, late push in the back. Just to kind of let him know, hey, this is a divisional game. I'm not a guy to mess around with. I'll be here all damn day. He was awesome. He had a nice pick in return, returning back to his Washington days, being, kind of just like that athlete on the field, pre-Jeremy Chin. Shaq Thompson absolutely missed not only his leadership, but his production on the field as well. 10 solo tackles, 2 assists, and again, 1 interception. And speaking of that, Stephon Gilmore, welcome home. Welcome friggin' home. I know some people on the Twitterverse were saying he could be trade bait. Do not trade this guy right now. First game in a Carolina Panther uniform, INT to seal the game while covering Kyle Pitts, being the veteran that he is, 10 years in the league, 2019 Defensive Player of the Year. You need that leadership. You need that playmaking ability that he did to just shut the game down. And yeah, he was called pass interference on Kyle Pitts earlier. I do not buy that. Same thing with Keith Taylor. I thought Keith Taylor's an absolute baller. You can probably let go of some of our other cornerbacks right now. If I'm Troy Pride, I'm a little worried. But imagine Keith Taylor, J.C. Horn, A.J. Bouye, C.J. Henderson when he's healthy, and Stephon Gilmore and Dante Jackson. What the hell is going on? Scotty, someone's got to go to get some picks. We got way too many people in this corner room, but I guess in this league, you can never have too much depth. Man, beer, it's crazy. I'm hyped. Way too hyped. Yeah, Stephon Gilmore, great addition. And then next week, he plays the former team that let him go for a 6th-round pick, the New England Patriots, at the bank. Right by the suburban house that he lives in and around Charlotte? Come on, man. Yatir Gross-Matos, another guy who was kind of on the trade block according to the Twitter sphere with his first sack of the season. I'm so happy for him. He has been maturing every single year, and I'm glad to see him continue to do his thing and be completely relentless to bring down Matt Ryan, who is getting a lot of hype at entering this game. I think we need to talk about that. The Falcons were 3-1 heading into this game. Colin Cowherd was saying, you know what? People are overlooking the Atlanta Falcons. This could easily be a team that makes it to the playoffs. They had all the momentum going into this game. At home, the Braves could be clinching a World Series. They were hype heading into this, and the Panthers shut them down. But 100% the Panthers could be using this as a turnaround time for their season. Matt Rule could look at this, look at the schedule. Hey, we're back home now. We're facing the New England Patriots against a rookie quarterback, and they have a pretty good record against rookie quarterbacks right now. They're 2-0. And then after that, they head to Arizona to take on the Arizona Cardinals, who is a high-flying offense. But I guess what? What does our defense have? Absolute speed, baby. And then they go on against the Washington football team and Taylor Heineken. No. And yeah, I said Heineken, all right? They're going to take a sip of that, and they're going to spit it out because it's gross, all right? He is like a Sam Darnold. He is a trailer, not a tractor. And then take on the Miami Dolphins, who aren't too hot right now. And then they got the bye week. Get healthy. And then they take on the Falcons again at the bank. That's a dub. And Buffalo, still trying to go to that. That could be tough. And then Bucks, Saints, Bucks. It's a toss-up, baby. To watch, sure, it was low scoring, but I thought the defense played awesome. I think the offense, I played running back, so I love power running, and maybe the Panthers finally found their identity. Their team that's just going to run the ball down your gosh darn throat. Steven Davis, Deshaun Foster style, man. Come on, let's go. So that's it. Your Panthers win 19-13. They are 4-4. Is this a turnaround of the season? Do they now look at their schedule now? They got Christian McCaffrey back. Stephon Gilmore is as advertised. Shaq Thompson is back. Justin Burris and Miles Hartfield aren't in still. They still have their lingering injuries. They're still hanging out a little bit. So they're still due to come back. What do you think about the rest of the season? Let me know in the comment community. Beautiful place. Follow me on Twitter at Panthers Post #1. It's getting dark. I'm going to drink this. See you guys midweek.